to Mono Rants at the Movies, a podcast where we rant about films you may have seen at house parties. I'm one of your hosts and jack of all trades, Mono, and asking if she can come with me in a really creepy way is my co-host and master of none, Kira.
It's not creepy, I just have to pee.
Why do you need to come with me to pee?
Because it's scary in the bathroom.
Okay.
Look, in a world where like shit crawls underground and like flies up and slices your face.
World.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Bathroom buddy system is a good system.
But yeah, no, today we are talking about 1995's Screamers.
Yeah, a bit of a weird one. I always thought this movie was way older than it is, just because in my head it's an 80s film. I don't know why.
It does kind of have 80s films vibes, and it is
it's
the kind
the
of
matte
like...
paintings and the stop motion, I think.
Yeah, and it's, well, as well, I think it was written, Dan O'Bannon said he like first wrote a treatment for it in like 1981 or something like that, so it was knocking about for a while before it actually got made, but...
Because it's got big Cold War vibes.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, and there's just something about it that does give off 80s vibes, and I think it's because there was a lot of those kind of sci-fi films in the 80s as well, and it's Philip K. Dick.
Yeah, but I think it is just the feel of it. The big matte painting backgrounds.
Oh, they're beautiful though.
That really old school sci-fi technique, and they're just stunning.
But I always thought this was a bit of a cult film, but apparently, no, it's not. It has a really low rating on Rotten Tomatoes. And it was generally panned at the time, but I really enjoy it.
For me, this is kind of like in the same category as Tremors.
Like
I love
what underground things that attack you.
No, like the people who like Tremors really like Tremors. I really like Tremors.
Oh, and the people who like Screamers really like Screamers.
Yeah. Like I really like, and loads of people think Tremors is absolutely crap. But if you've never seen the fourth one with the butt blasters, like. They're like big dodo birds.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're hilarious. But I love Tremors, and I love that the whole idea of like small group of people trying to survive and this thing's in the ground. And Screamers is very much the same, but instead of it being things that are trying to eat you, they're against everybody. It's not monster gonna monster, it's evil robot sentience.
Yeah, I like it because it's one of the reasons that some people don't like it, but it's kind of a mishmash of a whole bunch of different things as well. Because you've got a bit of a kind of journey film. It's a bit of an anti-war thing. There's intrigue and stuff as well going on.
You've got always because it's Philip K. Dick, you've got the dangers of AI going rogue and machines, and that's that 1950s, 1960s sci-fi sensibility. Like Isaac Asimov was very similar.
That's nearly the kind of the second half of the film is all about that, and the first half of the film is all about like the corporate war and what it's done to the world. And I really like it.
Portrayal.
I think it works really well, but I think that maybe some people are like, nah, there's too much going on in it.
It is long. It feels longer than it is.
Yeah, well, hang on, I suppose we should do a summary before we get too into it. In a not too distant future, an all too believable war rages after a giant corporation bombs its workers for not mining a deadly radioactive material. When a commander of the Workers' Alliance receives an offer for peace, he heads to the NEB Corporation to negotiate, only to find a new, more terrifying enemy.
Yeah. I like the whole... because the way this film opens...
With all the opening crawl and the opening text.
Well, there is a crawl, but it's narrated, which I appreciate.
Yeah, and that was one of the things I saw criticised, but I was like, it's like 20 seconds of on-screen text and narration
and
to
it just gives you this foundation.
Give you the context that you need for it, which would, like, I'd rather it come like that than one of the characters sits there and explains the whole thing to us as dialogue.
So this way you've got the whole, like, you do get some of the history because they have a rookie with them who's all like, he's grown up on the propaganda and they're correcting him on actual events.
That's expanding upon it then rather than it being a big expo dump. It works later on. And I like it the way it is.
Yeah, the way you get, he's grown up on this propaganda of, oh sure, but they did this to support you. And it's like, no, they didn't. This is actually what happened.
Because a lot of the rest of the information is kind of drip fed to you throughout the film. And I really like that about it. So that the opening crawl gives you your context and then you get straight into being like, ooh, what's going on when the soldier shows up.
Oh, that poor bastard who's like, when he holds up the thing and you're like, oh, he's a messenger. Oh, he's gonna, oh, there goes his arm. Oh, there goes his leg. Oh, just shoot him in the head. No, they watch. They do watch in there and they're like, oh no, you need a tag thing because they have these, because they developed them, they have these like tags are supposed to like put your heartbeat out of phase because they focus on living
But
things,
even
which is so cool. They emit like just that concept that it emits a signal just like one step off your personal one, and your tag will only work for you and nobody else.
Puts your heartbeat out of phase.
Yeah, so you're safe, or if you can stand in front of people. I like that. I just think that's a fun touch.
Yeah, no, there's certain aspects of it like that I really, really like about it, but just in that opening scene when the screamers first show up, you don't even really know what they are.
Yeah, and you're like...
It's just your man says, as your one's considering shooting them, you see something move under the sand, and the guy inside the bunker goes, oh, here comes the cavalry, so you know whatever's coming is on their side.
Yeah, but even still, they don't seem to want to engage
But then,
with
when they have to go outside to collect whatever your man has brought, Chuck, the captain, is like really nervous about going out near them and watching them. Yeah, because they're
like, the tags do, you find out later that the tags did work perfectly, but radiation in the air has started to degrade them, and all the stuff that they have around the radiation, like the anti-radiation red cigarettes.
Oh, the reds, yeah.
That they have to smoke to counteract the shit that they've been breathing in.
As Ace puts it later, you got to put this shit in your lungs to counteract the shit that's in your lungs.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there's loads of little, I think that's probably why I like it so much, is there's loads of little bits like that are around it that are just kind of dotted throughout the film that fill in this world, this shitty fucking...
Well, when they're examining, because they find out these things are called swords, it's like the mobile artillery sword.
It's autonomous mobile sword.
It looks like a demented horseshoe crab.
First ones.
The one he has taken apart, and he's like, oh no, it's safe, I yanked out its brain, and when your man goes to touch it, it goes, and they're like, oh no, it's a like autonomous motor reflex.
Yeah.
So even when it's dead, it can still attack you, which no. It's very much like the tongue thing in Doom. You know, like when they cut the hell monsters and off and it's trying to attack. No, that gives me big, like, weird thing wants to live in my head. I don't like that.
They kind of go there
also,
later
then
on.
My brain was like, how does that work? If you've yanked its brain out, it's still a machine.
What?
How is it still working if it's like he was like, oh, I've taken its brain out, it's fine. But it still tries to kill you.
Well, because I assume it's the control chip that controls, like, overall function, but then the blade still has, like, whatever.
So how did he manage to take it apart without losing a hand?
Because he didn't put his hand anywhere near the blade. I think that's the implication, is that the blade itself has like a proximity sensor or whatever.
And we'll just go...
so it still has some function even after you've removed its control
circuit. So you can just pick it up and brandish it at people?
Yeah.
But I do like the fact that they kind of look like a horseshoe crab, because it's a big bally thing with the spinning blade in the middle and then the long tail stabilizer.
Yeah, and then when you see
And then you keep seeing them later on throughout the film. Whenever they're doing panning shots, you'll just see the movement under the ground, coming like some sort of evil mole.
But even when you see the upgraded version 1 or type
He's
1,
so cute.
The little stop motion guy.
Oh my god! Why? How?
But
how
it makes sense
dare he be that fucking adorable? I am a white woman that will approach a snarky dog. Yeah. I'm taking that thing home with me.
You find everything cute.
Yes.
But
I also love the stop motion. The stop motion.
The stop motion is great, but it looks like an evolution of the first one.
Yeah.
Like you say, it's got the stabilizing tail in the ones you first see.
Yeah, it's got two little arms.
It's now got two little arms, and the tail is longer for balance.
Yeah.
And it's got a head.
And it's got like a rib cage instead of the bulky outer casing. You know, and it's developed flexibility and the little snarly face with the buzzsaw in the mouth.
Yeah.
That's like, nah. But he is absolutely adorable. Better than David. I'd take 100 of those over a David, because the Davids creep me out. The Davids really creep me out. I do not like them.
Well, apart from the actual kid who plays David, and when you see the Davids en masse, there's especially when they're like
when they're all coming out of the bunker.
There's an uncanny valley thing going on there.
That's the point.
But yeah, I think it's as much the point as it was the limitations of the prosthetics that they had.
Well, there's a lot of mannequins getting assaulted in this and set on fire. And 4 stunt guys getting set on fire in a rather fancy flip.
Oh yeah, props to those stunt guys. Because they were like, they're not far away enough from that explosion. And then, oh look, they're on fire. Excellent.
At least they're rolling down a hill that puts them out.
Yeah. You were saying there, sorry, before we went into the summary, that you feel like it feels longer than it is. It's nearly 2 hours.
It is nearly 2 hours, but I think the way it's broken up, because you've got them in the bunker and that whole initial thing where they're like, oh, we've gotten a peace treaty. That's what the poor messenger bastard
Yeah.
had been trying to get to them, was like an offering for a peace negotiation, and he unfortunately got
ripped apart.
Yeah.
And then dragged under the sand.
Yeah, because they take him off with them.
That's one of the bits that I really liked.
That,
like
when he's in, no, when the plane crashes and you see it drilling through the underneath of the aircraft.
Yeah. To
get the body and pull it down, and it was like,
but
God.
The explanation for it.
Also, your man just being like, well, I'm out of here. I was like, yeah, no shit.
But the explanation for it.
They use all the parts.
They use all the parts. It's like rotting flesh will produce methane, which they can use for fuel. And what's the other thing?
Eyeball jelly makes good blade
wax.
lubricant. Yeah. But they were like, yeah, they've built this massive. They got the plans 5 years prior. You find out that they got the plans for this from the Alliance 5 years prior, and they built the machine. And they just switched it on and ran like hell.
Ran away, yeah.
So they don't know what's going on.
Mm.
This is kind of like Mutant Chronicles. There's mutants just dragging things back to throw them in a machine. Well, like they're bringing all these bits back. They're kind of, you were saying it, they're like replicators.
Well, they are, what I meant about
they're almost like bioorganic replicators.
Replicators in the sense of like
cannibalizing the parts.
No, but in the same way that in Stargate they start off as a very basic thing, and then you see a slightly more advanced one, and then they eventually go human form,
and then they have the flesh and blood ones in Atlantis.
But they actually are supposed to be self-replicating in this. Like he says that no, after we started it, since then they've just been making themselves and maintaining themselves, and importantly upgrading themselves.
Yeah, which we didn't realize, because by the time they get to, as they're moving along and they're encountering more of them, even the machine language changes.
No, it is. It is. It's a long film, but I think it is, because you have that kind of that bit at the start where it's about the peace negotiation.
Yeah. And
then you have all the stuff around the crash, which sets up the reason for main antagonist Joe. Protagonist Joe to head off to the headquarters. Yeah, because he
gets information that they're going off now to fight on a different planet, because that's got the resources now, and they realise that they're just being abandoned because they can't go home. They're not going to bring them back to Earth.
I think they could maybe spend a beat longer there.
Yeah.
Because if you're not paying close attention, it can be a bit hard to follow the logic of what's happened, because effectively what it is Joe sends the message to Alliance Command on Earth, hey, we've got this message that Neb want to negotiate a peace treaty here.
Yeah.
And they get some general coming back to them, General Green, is it?
And then they find out that
and he says, no, don't go near them, we're negotiating peace here, so just stay put for the minute. Then this plane crashes. That's supposed to be a civilian transport, but is full of weapons and Marines.
And a nuclear reactor.
Yeah, and Joe finds out from the one surviving guy, Ace, who's great fun.
He's a moron.
He is a moron, but he's great fun. He finds out from him that the general who supposedly sent him the message is dead.
Yeah, he was like assassinated.
Arrested.
Or no, he was arrested and executed.
I think it's eliminated is the term he uses, but yeah, so...
2 years prior, so he's like, oh, they're bullshitting us.
Yeah,
now.
And he finds out that
they're
where
all going
Ace was
off
going
to this other planet.
Triton 4, where they found the new, like, purer form of this ore they were mining that was radioactive on their planet.
Yeah.
And he figures out, I see, so what's happening is they're abandoning us because they found a new source. They're never going to let us war vets come back to Earth.
No, we're not to tell everybody on Earth what happened.
Yeah, so they're just going to, both sides are just going to cut us off here.
Yeah, well, they're just going to, no, they were saying they can't cut them off because of the messages going back and forth. So they're just going to continue sending them supplies and monitoring the messages until they all, like, die off. There's only a few of them left there.
Yeah, but the point being that they're trying to feed them a bullshit story to keep them quiet and just leave them off there on this backwater corner of the universe. And Joe's like, well, fuck that, I'm going to negotiate my own peace.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they could maybe just spend a little bit longer in that conversation.
Yeah.
Because he's so angry and shouty with Chuck about, like, kind of... Because Chuck doesn't want to believe that's what's happened.
Yeah, he's like, no, sure, we spent our whole lives doing this. We spent the last 20 years doing this. And it's like, yeah, no.
They don't care.
Yeah.
Like, and that is Joe Peter
They
Weller's
are a
character.
Corporation. Like, they don't care. They're going where the money is.
Peter Weller's great in this, actually.
Yeah, I love me some Peter Weller. It's really funny. I recognise him for his forehead, which...
The one part covered in RoboCop.
Yeah.
A man famously recognised for the lower half of his face.
Yeah.
And you recognise him for the upper half.
And his incredibly blue eyes.
No, I really like him in this. He's a little bit over portrayed at the start with his Roman coin and his listening to Mozart and being a man of high culture. But I like his kind of...
It's very fitting for himself because he is a master's in art history or a PhD in art history.
No, I like his whole kind of...
I just like his take no shit fucking attitude and his very, very dry responses to people.
Yeah, oh yeah, I mean, he's a sarky bastard, and that's great. But you know, his kind of realistic, or say, like pragmatic war veteran who's like, yeah, look, it's not worth it kind of thing. It comes across really well, and then Ace as this chatterbox idiot who he's stuck with for the journey part of the film.
He's the greenback, he's the rookie, because the whole reason he's taking him is because he's just arrived.
Yeah, well,
he's not going to risking any more of my man.
Yeah, he's like, this guy's ready to get his ass shot off by this enemy he doesn't even know. So yeah, I'll bring him with me. But after that, then it's onto the journey kind of part of the film, and then the latter half of the film is when they get to Neb and realize everything there is fucked. The reason they wanted to negotiate a peace treaty is because the Screamers have now gone human form and are just ripping the place to shreds.
Yeah. Yeah, now they can sneak their way in.
I really like that aspect of it as the film goes on, of the who is and who isn't. Who could be.
It's like that bit in the thing when they're all eyeing each other suspiciously.
Yeah.
Because everybody, now that they know that they can do this, because they were talking about the wounded soldier who's like out there screaming, help me, and like the fact that they have a limited vocabulary, and there's this one poor bastard who, it looks like he's had a total breakdown, like he's chewing on the string, and he just keeps saying,
he's jumpy, and he keeps saying, get off my back,
get off my back, and everyone's like, can't say anything else than that, huh? Can you?
Yeah,
Can
no,
you?
I like that it kind of leads into it. That's one of the like the way they drip feed the information. They don't make it super obvious. They just, the first couple of times, he's just getting really annoyed and he says, get off my back. But the closer it gets to that scene where Joe is like, what the hell is the Type 2?
Yeah.
He keeps saying, get off my back more and more and more. So by the time Joe realizes there's a hidden type, you're already sort of suspecting of Ross.
Yeah, and other people are starting to eye him as well. Because you don't really, like with David's introduction when they're out in the wasteland. Also, when they're out in the wasteland and you're like, oh, okay, you have this thing that hopefully works to stop these shitheads attacking you.
Yeah.
Putting on headphones and blasting music seems like a really good idea.
When they first leave.
Yeah.
Like, it's like he's expressed like concern and kind of fear over the Screamers, because he's not really seen them before and doesn't know what they are, and he's like, now he's going on a journey across a wasteland that's full of them, and his first idea is to put on his headphones
with his CD player with its anti-skip technology, which was a lie. But not as good as his porny glasses later on.
His porn glasses later on are so fucking funny.
And the rock. Why can't a rock just be a rock and not a bug?
Oh, that bit cracks me up. but just to the porn glasses, what was it about the 90s with like sexy, trippy VR headset visuals in films?
I blame Lawnmower
because, Man. Well, yeah, there's Lawnmower Man, but that was, the whole thing was weird, trippy kind of visuals. But like...
I still have nightmares about that on occasion.
Demolition Man?
Yeah.
That's how they have sex, and it's all weird and flashy and hard to tell
but
what's going on.
Demolition Man, you're not allowed to touch each other.
Yeah.
Like, Existence, that was later, but Existence has some weird headset sex going on.
Yeah.
That's a good film, actually.
It was a weird thing, but the porn glasses in this cracked me up, especially because Joe's response is just to stomp on them immediately.
He's like, hey, they cost me a load of money. Who cares?
Yeah, they nearly cost you your life.
Yeah. You got to keep this thing on you. You said it worked when it was near me. Well.
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, it doesn't really work when it's on you, so.
Yeah,
and in fairness, it doesn't look like it's uncomfortable. It looks like a Fitbit, but with like finger straps.
But you do see at the start, when Chuck goes out to get the body, his one, I think, isn't working when he walks out, and he taps it to get it working, because
you got to Fonzie it a little
guy,
bit.
I don't know if he has a name, but the guy and the girl from the very start who see the Neb soldier coming in, he seems to be way more freaked out by the Screamers than anybody else, and as soon as they open the door, you see him looking at his tab, and it's got the green and the red light.
Yeah.
And then a couple of seconds pass, and he yells out to the captain, he's like, Chuck, make sure you check your tab. And he looks at his tab and like taps it, and then it starts working. So it's like, the radiation just fucks with everything.
Absolutely everything.
And I love then when they're out actually on their journey part, that's when you get all the great matte paintings.
Yeah.
All these
I also very much like, what's his actual name in this?
Who?
Joe? Hendrickson,
and Jefferson.
But Joe's big ass gun.
The Alliance guns look fucking deadly.
They're they're really atypical space battle, big, chunky, long, like they're like a modified long rifle.
Yeah.
But it also looks like it might be a shotgun, and you can launch a mini plutonium bomb out of it.
Just slap a nuke in the top of it and pull the trigger.
Yeah. And it's got a flamethrower function.
It does, and the Neb ones are a bit weird looking. They're like...
I think Dan O'Bannon was like, yeah, we just sellotaped 2 of them together for Aliens, so now we're just going to make it all one.
Yeah, no, the Neb guns are kind of weird, but even the Neb guns look like they're big, mass-produced, just kind of lock and load and off you go thing, but that's supposed to be the corporation, so that makes sense, whereas the Alliance are the workers and the scientists, so they've got these big, fancy... multi-purpose high-tech rifles.
These are all things that we've encountered and we need them.
That's why they have the screamers. They seem to have the better technology.
Yeah.
Because they were the workers and the scientists. But Neb has the money to just go and hire mercenaries and buy nukes. Yeah, because they have a really fancy,
when they make it to their command centre.
Yeah, it's
super fancy and lots of lasers and what looks like femputer.
Yeah, there's computer consoles everywhere and stuff like that. Whereas the Alliance command just seems to be a bunker. It's an underground bunker that has like a bar and an office. And, that's about it really.
Yeah, it's a bunker. It's functional. Whereas, the other one is like, well, this is where all the bigwigs are. So we have this and we have the chairs to do the thing. And have you seen this?
I don't know that they had a moving
chair. You can get
a
back massage when you pee. Can't pee now without an old back rub.
But it's... Yeah, I like those kind of little bits about it. One of the other things is the 2 uniforms.
Yeah.
The Alliance uniforms are very like Roman Legionnaire.
Yeah, well, the helmets in particular, and the helmets as well very much remind me of like 1950s American football helmets.
They do have a bit of a look like that as well.
Yeah, where they like the kind of turtle shell kind of head going on.
Yeah, whereas the Neb guys' uniforms are more... They're the way in all the grey, and their helmets have the bit that come down, and they're more kind of like medieval knight in armour type gear.
Yeah, but I think that's supposed to be like, it's the little person versus the big monster.
Well, yeah, I just like those kind of visual aspects of it, because it's a bleak looking film, but I really like it.
Yeah, because it's a cold planet. I really want his hood scarf thing.
Yes,
because that looks cozy.
Agreed. But yeah, as they're going across the landscape, you see all these old like refineries and mines and stuff that are just abandoned.
When they come across the city, that's just derelict.
That's where they find David.
When you're talking about they bombed it, it was just completely wiped out.
Yeah, because the whole thing being that they
get in the mines, they discover that it's releasing this type of radiation, so the workers refuse obviously to mine it, so they bomb them.
Yeah.
And that's how the Alliance starts.
Yeah.
To stand up to them. So they have essentially, and what is it, 1 teaspoon of this stuff could get you from...
Beryllium, the ore that they're mining, 1 teaspoon gets you from Earth to Saturn in a day, supposedly.
Like it's this super fuel, so of course they're, bombing the shit out of each other to control it.
Well also, they're like, we don't care that it kills you. It is worth so much money. Go and mine it, you plebs.
It's like dark matter. In fairness, farming Niblonians would be easier than mining out a planet.
But I like Hendrickson's whole thing of constantly kind of, not constantly, but he brings it up a couple of times of we were all Neb once.
Yeah.
Of, we were all greedy corporate fucks.
But then we
all eventually found out where our line was.
Yeah.
And our line was, we don't want to work to death for money.
Yeah, especially when you're not going to even provide us with like treatment or anything. Like, here, have some fucking cigarettes.
Yeah, have some Reds. What if I don't want to smoke? Tough shit. Die of radiation or smoke these red cigarettes.
And I like that. How do you know it's working?
You don't die. He has some great lines. I think my favourite of them is when they're leaving, when he asks Jefferson, are you coming or are you just breathing hard? He also has some not so great lines, like when they're in the Neb hideout later on.
Yeah.
And he's talking to Jessica. And she's cleaning herself down, and he says something that shocks her, and she turns around, and he's just like, "My God, you're beautiful," and then continues on his conversation.
Why did you say that? Like fucking Thingy's dad, an American dad?
Who? Stan's dad?
Yeah.
I don't know, did I?
Yeah, the way he said, "My God, you're beautiful."
Well, that is the guy who played Spotswood last week in Team America, isn't it?
Amazing. I love him.
Yeah, no, there's some fun lines, a lot of fun lines from Hendrick, and there's also some dreadful lines in this. One in particular at the end, which I fucking hate, and I was very angry. I think I proclaimed, Dan O'Bannon, you're better than this when we watched it at the very, very end.
They go a bit heavy-handed with Breaker as well.
With Becker?
Becker.
His whole constantly quoting Shakespeare.
I just love the fact that Becker looks like he should be hanging out on a beach in California in a denim vest with the arms ripped off it.
No, I think Becker looks like he should be on a ski slope in Aspen in a fucking shell suit, challenging somebody to a ski race.
He's generally the bully wherever he is.
I think
it's just the face on him.
I really like how the actor Roy Batty plays him.
Yeah, he's not a likeable person at all. The second you see him, you're like, you're a dick.
Yeah, and he plays him really, really well. But yeah, the character can be a little bit much. The Shakespeare stuff, I think they were going for
Tears in the Rain.
Yeah, they were going for Rutger Hauer as
Blade Runner.
Roy Batty.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were going for a Roy Batty, and they
of the sympathetic android, and we're just looking for a life of our own.
And the philosophical android rather than.
But they didn't really give the machines haven't gotten there yet. Well, they sort of have, but he's an early fumble at it.
But also because
they understand culture, because he quotes a shit ton of Shakespeare, so they've garnered that's an important thing, that's something that you need.
But I think it's somewhat lost because he's doing all this Shakespeare quoting and stuff before you find out that he is a screamer.
Yeah.
Spoiler. It kind of falls flat, because then when you find out he is one and he starts quoting Shakespeare again, you're like, oh, the machine knows Shakespeare. Oh well. Yeah, that
okay.
Yeah. Whereas with Roy Batty, you know all along that he is a replicant.
Yeah.
So there's weight to his philosophizing.
Yeah.
You just think that Becker is a random asshole quoting Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Until you find out he's a screamer.
Just to be a dick.
But then when he is quoting Shakespeare and you know he's a screamer, that's when he's giving it all the I am no mother born shit, but he keeps throwing in assholes and motherfuckers.
Yeah,
I think
that's
great.
Funny. That's funny.
That works. But
also when you get the whole, we took their face. Not literally, not like Barry in fucking Archer when he's wearing the mask.
Yeah, but that's one of the other things that I don't like about it is the Chuck bit at the end.
Yeah. Could it just have been the other her, but...
Yeah, because it's or even just another Becker showing up. Because I think unless I'm wrong, the implication there is that it's the Becker that's just been chopped in half has gone, or one of the replicators one of the screamers who went into the Alliance base earlier on and killed everybody, wears Chuck's skin.
I took it more as a kind of bender. Every time his body dies, his conscious is just downloaded into a new model.
Yeah, no, so whichever screamer it is doesn't really matter to me.
I don't think that's actually Chuck's face. I think that's just
but he says it is.
Okay.
He said that's my issue.
So maybe
he says that because he says, do you like this face better? He says he got your Marshall Cooper, and that he's the one who sent the message.
And he's the one that they've actually been going to find. He was like, oh, did you like this face? I'm Marshall Cooper.
Yeah, and he says he likes Chuck's face, and he talks about some of the he must have obviously been able to get inside Chuck's brain as well, because he has some of the memories about their conversations earlier. But then he says, I'm going to enjoy wearing your face more.
Yeah.
And says one of Hendrickson's lines from earlier in Hendrickson's voice to
him.
Yeah,
he's taunting him in his voice.
I'm like, if they can just wear people's skin, is he another type again? Because the Davids are all Davids. Now
they come in varying heights.
But they are all that model.
They're all Davids, yeah.
They tell Hendrickson that the Type 2 is a wounded soldier. Now that could be a lie because it's screamers who are telling them that. But Ross is there when they're talking about it, and he talks about it too. So I'm going to take it as face value as the Type 2 is a wounded soldier who can only say, help me, help me. Type 3 is David. So I assume that
Breaker's a Type 4.
That Becker is a Type 4 or above, because when he takes the chip out of Becker, he can't read it anymore. It's in robot
it's a
language.
Little triangle-y one.
Yeah.
And so she's whatever.
And she's then maybe a 5.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's fine, because there's loads of Davids, and we see 2 of her, so that's fine. And Becker, there could be other Beckers out there, that's fine. So I'm like, who the fuck is the one that's wearing, why do we need one that can wear skin when the others are just clone versions of each other, if you know what I mean?
I don't know.
Maybe
they're running out of resources, though. They're like
I just
straight up putting on the
I just
skin.
think it muddies it a bit, because up to now we've had specific types.
Yeah.
And then suddenly there's this one that can wear people's skin.
Yeah.
But it's one of the few things that I don't like about it.
I took it as he's not literally wearing his face, like this isn't Face Off. But it was that they were copying their faces.
But yeah, which I would be fine with.
Because they can't create anything, so they're just copying the people that they've killed and dragged off. They've just like scanned their face and reproduced it.
Yeah, and I'd be fine with that. But the dialogue seems to imply he literally means physically wearing the dude as a flesh suit.
Well, unless he was designed to infiltrate, because if he was the marshal on the other side and he's got his face, so if you go that they have biometrics, which they do, because he uses the hand scanners. It would make sense then that the easiest way to do that is to just like wear their body like a meat suit.
Yeah, and
to get through, to infiltrate the whole way through, and then to be able to retain some knowledge of them, because if they're trying to get into the upper echelon.
All of that makes sense.
I need to read the short story to realistically see what's going on.
All that makes sense, but I think my problem with it is there's nothing to hint that they had anything like that before. Other things are better set up in this, and I think that just when Chuck shows up, it just makes things that little bit more confusing. And if they're going to do it, explain it a bit better. Yeah. That's my only kind of problem with the Chuck bit. If it is less literal and a sense of just like, yeah, we're going to copy you and you're going to be the next type, that's fine. That makes sense. Like, or if it's what you were saying of it's an infiltration unit, fine, just give us a hint of it before.
Yeah, because they've been trying to, like, it kind of makes sense for they've had the wounded soldier being the first attempt to get in.
Yeah.
To get them to bring him in, like the Trojan horse kind of thing. Then you've got the Davids.
But if it's wounded, it can't move. But the Davids then can properly infiltrate.
They've already gone, humans have empathy and will care for their own, so we'll give them a baby version of themselves because they'll take that in. So then the next stage is we get a hold of some of the people. Once we get in, we get a hold of some of the higher ups and take them over. Yeah. And then be able to manipulate from that point on.
But it's all of
I think that bit
upon.
Is more of a nod to the original short story, because the short story is like Cold War based. So sleeper cells and sleeper agents and brainwashing and all of that sort of jazz.
I just think it's because they set up other things so well. Like even the early Screamer thing goes of you don't really know what they are, then the Alliance guys explain to you what they are and they're on their side. Then when Jefferson gets attacked because he's watching his fucking porn glasses, he says, well, if it was just that I didn't have my tag on me, why did it go for you? So you've already got a hint that the Screamers in general
But there's also a nice little touch there, because you've gotten the back and forth with him on the radio, because they're Livy and Cicero on the radios. Yeah. Of the back and forth. And any time, I noticed that when the David is close to him, the radio's communication isn't working properly. It starts to crackle out as he's saying, hey, we've had a new guy come into the base. He's a bit weird. The David actually moves closer to him. Yeah. And then there's a whole lot of interference on the radio. And then later when they're being taken down into the bunker, as Brecker and...
Just after Becker knocks on the pipe.
Yeah, as he's walking past, the lights flicker.
And which... If that is what we think it is, and it's a subtle indication that Becker is one.
Yeah, like you get the early hint there with the David, that maybe the Davids were like mobile phone signals and used to make the radio go weird. But if they're emitting something that gives you that... Because if it had made the radio...
I'm about to get a text.
My car radio still does that on occasion.
But if...
like if the David's emitting some sort of frequency that fucks with electronics, and they're slowly making it, like trying to, because she doesn't seem to do anything like that. She doesn't fuck with any sort of tech.
I assume that she is the most. To me, she's more advanced than Becker. But if that is the case, I really, really appreciate that scene, because it's foreshadowing that he is Screamer. Yeah. But it's also calling back to something that Hendrickson had said earlier on when they're getting the transmission from General Green. And it goes all fuzzy. Yeah. And he's like, oh, give me that remote. He's like, fucking Morse code would be better than that VR shit. Yeah. When they're going down.
He taps on the pipe.
Becker taps. Now, I don't know if it's actually Morse code, but he's tapping to message to let Jessica know he's coming back. And I was like, nice. Yeah. Just a nice little call back as you find the foreshadowing there. Yeah. But then speaking of the radio as well, I really like that, how they set all that up of, we've got this guy coming in.
Yeah, we just got a new recruit in, he's a bit weird.
And then when they get
Can you come down? You can come down.
But leading up
come
to
on
that,
in.
when they get into the Neb bunker,
or
the Neb kind of underground outpost bit, he tries to send
the commissary with the really good scotch. Also, they should have just shot Becker for dropping that bottle of Red Label Johnny Walker.
Oh yeah. But he tries to contact
that, because that's the other reason why they think he's one, because they're like, oh, he won't drink the scotch. He kept saying no while he's like tanking it down.
Yep. But he tries to contact the base again when he gets into the Neb kind of outpost, and says he tries to tell them there's human form screamers now.
Yeah.
And
it won't go through because
it'll try to go into the base.
Next to him.
And he's like, damn, fucking radiation gets at everything.
Yeah.
And then when they get back to the base at the end, the whole thing of come on down, Chuck.
Come on down. Let me talk to Don Giovanni. This is Don Giovanni.
And they're slowly backing up. He's like, I'm opening the door, Chuck. Yeah, I'm coming down.
Yeah. And he's turning around and being like, go, fucking run away. Run away. Give me that nuke. What nuke? I know you stole it, you little shit. Now give me it.
Yeah.
The mini plutonium bomb, because he's like, we've never used nukes and we never will. Yeah, well, you fucking will when there's an army of Davids. Like, ew, David coming at you.
Well, I think his point was, our side haven't used nukes.
All the Davids replaced with David from Schitt's Creek, just various versions of him coming out.
We'll need somebody with good video editing skills for that one.
That'd just be really funny. Or an army of Moira Roses. That would be terrifying. Especially in her outfit from The Crowaning. When she's like,
oh yes,
yeah.
No, it's there are things that I don't like about this film, but I still really, really like this.
It's a really good sci-fi film.
I think it's a really good sci-fi film. It's got asshole corporations, which I always like. It's got AI robot fuckery, which I also like.
Yeah, and it's always the whole, we started this saying, you took Beetlejuice out of the box and you didn't put him back.
Yeah.
You started this thing and you have lost control and you don't even realise.
Yeah, there's lots of morally grey issues, just not, with the AI and with
good sci-fi should always do. Like, you should be going, should we do this? Like, can this, these are the actual issues that seem to come about a lot.
Yeah, and I like, for me, this should always have been a winner because it's Philip K. Dick's story adapted by Dan O'Bannon.
Who does love a sentient bomb.
Yes, he does. we will have to do Darkstar.
But this is very much up his alley. Like, there is some touches there from Alien. In terms of the suspense, like you get it, like when they're going through the tunnels and the constant echoing of "Can I come?" Like every.
Oh, the "Can I come with you" thing is just
fucking
to me. That's iconic. Like,
I come with you?
I first saw this film not at a house party.
It's up there with they mostly come out at night. Mostly.
But I saw this on a scouting trip when I was like 14 or 15, and we all sat up and watched it. And the next day we all went off to a cave system.
Oh God!
It was one of those cave systems where
it echoes and you can go down.
But they turn off the lights when they get to like the deepest part of the cave to illustrate that there's no natural light that gets down. But Wicklow
Jail does that as well. It's kind of terrifying because Wicklow Jail's built in like down into a hill, so the cellar is pitch black.
But yeah, we were down in the Alloy Caves, also known as the very, 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 very dark caves.
Very dark.
It's almost like being blind if you're a Father Ted fan. But yeah, so
they're well cool. Go see them if you're ever here.
Yeah,
it's the Cave of the Bear.
Yes,
they found our Ice Age bear remains. Loads of shit. It's out on the burn, and the burn is just like a weird...
the remains of pre-polar bear ancestor bones.
Yeah, they've been traced. Yeah, polar bears traced them.
So yeah, we were all down this cave the next day after watching Screamers, and they knock off the lights, and there was a motion sensor or something off in the corner of the room with two little glowing
the red
lights.
Dots, yeah.
And one of the lads spotted it and just went, "Can I come with you?"
You screaming.
Well, yeah, about half of us screaming, and the rest of the people who were on the tour being like, "What the fuck is wrong with those lads?"
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's creepy, and it's used to great effect when Hendrickson is finding out about the different types,
and you just hear the echo, and then when he's running, and it's kind of like the Michael Myers thing of no matter how fast they run, and he's just walking at the same pace. Like, they're just there.
Yeah.
And then when they close the big vault door, because it's like the tunnels through to the command centre, so they don't have to go overground, they go underground, even though the things are underground.
Yeah, that was like, we'll go underground. Oh, it's where the things live.
Well, at least it's a direct tunnel to it.
Yeah.
Like, I can't, it is kind
and probably
of safer.
reinforced concrete and shit like that.
Yeah. Load of rats. What are the rats eating?
I don't know, but I love the description of how to eat rats.
How to cook them properly?
That is fucking brilliant.
I really need to check, because I have that cookbook about cooking, like, wild game, but that has, like, squirrel and stuff in it, and I think there is, like, because I imagine it would be a similar consistency to squirrel.
But I just like his whole thing. He's like, he immediately...
Hot pan, cold oil... Bad idea.
Yes, I was thinking that.
That's a real bad...
Red hot pan, and then your cold oil, and then your rats.
And then your rat. That's a bad idea. You're better off, like, maybe basting the rat in some butter.
Maybe they have special oil or pans.
But it said it'll make it stick, so the implication is they're not skinning the rat.
No, you don't want it to stick.
He said if you do that, it'll stick to it, but it shouldn't stick if you, like, leave it to cook long enough that it'll sear back off. But if they're not skinning the rats...
maybe it's future rats. But I just love he's like immediately ready to launch into his mate's story, or his story about, like, rat cuisine, and then he has another one later on when they're wandering around. He's just telling this story.
And he's just like,
Hendrickson's just like, oh, for fuck's sake. But even the rat thing I kind of liked, because it hints at, like, he's not from Sirius B. I don't understand the people on Sirius B cooking rats. Yeah. He's from Earth. Yeah. So obviously shit's not much better on Earth. But I like the little rat cuisine bit. The rats. What other things did we particularly like about it?
No, the whole thing with the robots really fucks with me. Them getting smarter.
Yeah.
That.
No, I really like that.
Because I am ever so slightly afraid of technology when it seems to be actively trying to hurt me.
Yeah, no, I like that. I really like that, but I like the whole journey it takes to get there. Like, I like from the great opening of the guy coming in and getting attacked by the screamers, and you don't know what they are, to the slow feed of information about what these screamers are, to they're able to upgrade themselves, but we're not too worried about that, to, oh shit, they're fully autonomous and attacking everybody now. And then the retreat back to there's a shuttle for the commander in case of emergency. Yeah. There's only one suit and a children's size. Come on, Kiv. In the suit. That whole bit when they get there, and it's such a teeny tiny spaceship. Why would you leave the gantry in the way? Dramatic effect. Yeah. They were like, nah, fuck it. Let's just leave it there. It's not like somebody will need to use this emergency evacuation rocket. Yeah. And it's because he has to put his hand on the thing on the chair to start the lift. But by the time he gets out of the chair and around, the lift's already like halfway down. My guess is that it was never supposed to be abandoned, and there would be somebody else there to operate it. Well, he said it's all keyed to his biosignature, and he's the only one who can get in. But other people could have come with him if he was evacuating in an other scenario. It's a one-seater. Like, fuck everybody else then. Yeah, they just have to, they're grunts, they just have to get their commander there. Yeah, just have to make sure he gets away safely. But they one or two very awkward kissing scenes that... Oh god, just one in particular at the end there. Yeah. When she's like, I learned... It's the line you hate. When she's like, I learned something new. No, the kiss comes when he tests her. Yeah. But that... because after he slices her hand open. There are some great lines in it. Like, I like earlier on when they're talking... at the very start when they get the tube, and it says for people of whatever, military rank or above, and Chuck says, that's you, me, and God, if he's still listening. But then, you have the awful line at the end, and it's followed by, like, I like it because Hendrickson tells Jessica as she's dying, he's like, you're coming up in the world, you replicators, you screamers have learned to kill I keep calling them replicators now, you screamers have learned to kill each other, you're on the path to evolution, you're nearly as good as us, killing each other all the time. Really fits in tone with the rest of the movie. You want to become human. Good job. And then she says, no, I learned to love. Well, she doesn't say love. He finishes it off and says love. And I'm like, it's just... I will never forget you, Philip J. Fry. Memories deleted. Yeah, like, it's basically that scene. I was really expecting when she's doing the I'm dying off, because when Breaker, I keep calling him something. Becker. When he gets shot in his face, his voice changes, and I really like that. He gets that kind of weird... robot-y... And I was expecting her to do that as she was dying. So when she didn't, it was really disappointing. It's just... I don't know, it's just such a fucking cliched line. Like, even... Laugh, but the only one that does it properly without it being cliched is The Fifth Element. It's just, I think if they had just approached it slightly differently, like if instead of saying, if she said, I learned to love, if he said something like, you learn to kill each other, you're coming up the world, you learn to kill each other, and her response was that, not that I
learned humanity, or
no,
like mercy.
I learned, or no, if because his whole thing is, you learn to kill each other, but if her response was, I learned some things are worth dying for.
Yeah.
That would be a much better line than I learned to love.
Yeah, because that's a sense of like honour or...
And it flips on it, but it implies the love as well.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It implies their relationship. So she died to protect him. He was worth dying for.
Yeah.
It's just not as hackneyed a line as I learned to love. And I'm like, Dan, you're better than this. You're better than that, Dan. I'm going to assume that was some bullshit studio script rewrite on the day.
Let's call it love.
Because, it falls flat. And I think something like,
especially because he was quite eloquent throughout the whole film.
He is. And a lot of the time, he has...
And they have these kind of... They've had these kind of very secular conversations that no information is directly said, but a lot is said in between.
Yeah. And there is a developing romance kind of there between them, and I like it. It's not that I have a problem with the fact that the machine was falling in love with them. It's just that line, that line. But that's one of the only things that
He's never seen the film.
Who?
The health film.
But that's one of the only things I don't like. As I said earlier, the Chuck bit gets a bit meh, and there's one or two small bits of just not having dated well. David's face when he goes all rah looks kind of crap.
Yeah, but you can. But then when you see the mannequins on fire later on, it's all worth it. When they're like literally just melting. When
other Jessica gets burnt by the ship
boobs
firing up, and at first it burns all her clothes off, so you can see a mannequin with boobs, and then it burns her into nothingness. That was
pre-launch.
Doesn't look great for starters, and also it's a choice as well.
Yeah, but again, The Expanse did creature burn up so much better when they the hybrid thing.
The hybrid thing,
the sixth man. He had no suit. When they throw the yoke out and
they
turn the engines around and he's in the little...
Yeah, that bit always also reminded me of Dead Space. But that whole series has Dead Space vibes.
Yeah.
But there's way more to like about this film than there is to dislike, to be honest with you. Like I think it's really well written. Some of the dialogue's a bit meh, but I love the plot and how it all unfolds.
Yeah, I like how their reaction to a betrayal is, well, fuck you. I'm going to do what you tell me. Essentially, because he's like, they're like, well, they're bullshitting us. They're saying us this message. They're trying to control us. They're telling us not to go and talk to the Neb guys who have clearly worked out what's going on. They've realised that we've been abandoned, so the only way we're going to get off this fucking rock, because Earth's not going to come for us, is to work together.
I think the reason for the Neb negotiation, or the Neb wanting to negotiate on Sirius B is because they're
going to have to get along. They're going to have to survive.
I don't think they've realised what he's realised. I think it's because when they get there, the Neb guys accuse Hendrickson and Jefferson of having sent in the human form screamers.
Yeah.
So I think it's...
And they're like, we didn't even know what was going on. They're like, well, you brought him with us. And it was like, no, he found us.
Yeah, but I think that's it. So what happened was human form...
When the first David, when they're walking...
when he gets shot. When he goes flying backwards on starfish.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. But no. So I think what happened is human form screamers go and attack the Neb command first.
Yeah.
And either, as Chuck says at the end, one of them sends the message for the negotiation, or Neb command are so freaked out at how bad they're getting destroyed by these new human form screamers. That's why they send the negotiation treaty. But then Hendrickson's thing of, I do really like, he's like, well, if all they're going to do is cut us off and not care what we're going to do, we may as well stop fighting one another.
Yeah,
just
like,
live in our own peace.
Why are we killing each other?
Let them kill each other over that new shit on Triton 4. We'll live in peace.
Yeah, like we ain't got much left because, radiation.
No, there is there's so much to like about it, I think.
Because you get more of that betrayal, they've obviously been fed their own side's propaganda. So when they meet up and they're having the argument between the Neb guys and the Alliance guys.
Yeah.
And they're kind of each arguing that about the actual events of the war and how it started. The kind of bombing and stuff.
Yeah. No, I have to say I was quite happy to go back and rewatch this. Like we watched it there, about probably not long after we started the podcast.
Yeah, we didn't know how to
and we were like, how do we
it?
approach this film? And obviously it was just because we didn't, not that we know what we're doing now, but we really didn't know what we were doing back then. Because I had no problem finding plenty to talk about with it today. And I think I'd love to go on. Second Variety is the name of the short story from Phil K. Dick. And I will have to go and look it up. There was a sequel made, but not until 2009. And while this has a 6.3 on IMDb and a 29% on Rotten Tomatoes, it's better than that as far as I'm concerned. It's better than 6.3. It's definitely better than 29%. The sequel only has like a 4 on IMDb.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'd give it a shot, but this I'm always happy to go back to.
What I really like about this was they used a really weird variety of techniques. You've got the literal stop motion, like Jason and the Argonauts, styly, little creature dude. And it fits in so well. I love him so much. He's so cute.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously stop motion, but I think he looks great.
And then you have like the mannequins.
He looks better than Ed 209.
Yeah. You've got the use of the mannequins for like the poor guy who gets Black Knighted. Essentially, it's his but a scratch.
Yeah.
Like when his hand gets chopped off and the leg gets chopped off.
Yeah,
and with all the Davids later on, with the flamethrower sequence when he's on top of the dune, flamethrowing the fuck out of everybody. That's brilliant. I love firework. I always love actors on fire. And then you've got some bits of CGI, like with David's face and stuff like that. Morphing.
Yeah, it's very minimal CGI, but a lot of sometimes practical effects, sometimes stop motion, sometimes matte paintings.
And then you
love the matte paintings.
Beautiful matte painting backgrounds for the majority of it, but then when the spaceship is taking off, that's all CGI.
Yeah,
it looks like a video game.
Yeah,
it looks like a cutscene off a video game.
But I'd still. But
I'm okay with that.
I'd rather watch that. Like it
because it was the
like
whole scene. It all worked together. It didn't look out of place. It was all in the one environment.
It's not like Spawn. And then a few weeks
later
back.
on, when it comes out the top and goes to fly off, that's a matte painting with that over it.
Yeah.
So it's a really interesting mix of really old school techniques with new technology, but it's used really well together.
All the kind of screamer vision as well.
Oh, in the heat-seeking vision, that's like all very predatory.
Yeah, I like all that. I like all the kind of military scope stuff.
Yeah.
When they're zooming in and they can see that they're armed through the scopes and stuff like that. I think they probably just, I don't know what sort of budget they had for it, but it wasn't a big blockbuster or anything like that.
Oh, but it's so I think
they just used all these different techniques that they could to try
because like when they're coming out of the Neb compound and they're coming out through the fan that they've stopped with a knife.
That's great because the fan.
That's the actual bit of set that they're coming out of. Is the painting.
Great matte painting.
It's so beautiful.
And
it really is. It's like, like I always make the jokes of a friend of ours who has the van that he needs to get one of those 1980s woman with the sword.
Yeah.
That's what those paintings remind me of. I'm a big fan of Louis Royo.
Yeah.
And like heavy metal and
absolutely that heavy metal. It's got that
it's got that whole heavy metal retro futuristic
desolate
of vibe.
Like
the post-apocalyptic.
Well, like that kind of industrial / interstellar thing, like the way in Foundation, it's interstellar ships, but they work on coal and stuff like that. It's that kind of feeling, and I think the
very much heavy metal with the whole like. It's like the fucking
Well, it's barren wastelands with these structures sticking up out of them,
these insane jets and style structures.
Yeah, big factories and industrial kind of skylines.
And it's all that very 1950s. Everything's very roundy but pointy at the same time. I love that.
But every sort of structure that you see apart from the ruined city is presumably to do with the production of this ore or whatever, this beryllium. And I think the matte paintings really add a lot to it.
And they give a lot of depth to the scene as well because you get a sense of scale, especially when they're walking and like the valley that they're in is real and then it's painting behind it. But because it's you get this sense
blend them really well
of it just stretching out and you get more depth instead of it being like, oh, they're just walking through a valley. You're like, no, this whole planet is kind of barren and deserted and it's poisoned.
Yeah.
And then you'll just see the little screamer kind of going past.
And
it'll just be like in the corner, you'll just see the little like earth mound go. They're never really focused on, they just kind of are there.
We didn't mention, but I like early on in the film when they are like trying to show you how the tags work. And you see screamers kind of moving around under the sand, and whenever they get near an Alliance soldier who's got a tag, they just stop dead.
Yeah.
I really like that to just show the start. But yeah, no, it is. There's so much to like about this. Like from a visual standpoint and from the narrative standpoint, and then from the kind of the philosophical side of it is fun as well. As I said, the Becker with his Shakespeare is a little bit over the top.
I do like though when he's lying there when they get blown up and he's going, help me, help me, help me, and they're like, and Thingy's gone, it was a soldier that yelled, help me. He's like, did he only get activated? Yeah. This guy's a bit of a fucking nut job.
Yeah.
Like, and he's already killed somebody else for thinking that they're a replicant. No, not a replicant.
A screamer.
Yes.
And I think I will say as well, everybody in this
fucking
Jefferson,
getting
it at the end,
squished. That does not look like a fun way to go.
No, I like that as well. It's a
really nasty,
like vindictive,
up close,
because as well that shows
the slow squeezing and the enjoyment of it.
But it's one of the things that I do like about Becker, and I wish that they had maybe given the screamer thing, the screamer reveal a little bit earlier for him, because she's the more empathetic screamer and he's the more malevolent, like vindictive. Like he could just snap his neck, he could kill him any number of ways.
It's the whole trying to get the balance of the human.
But because
you get that bit when the David's hands melt off and the hand splits open. There's a saw. And there's saws in them.
So I assume Becker has similar weapons if he wanted to, but no, he chooses to squeeze the life out of this man. It's just I like that
it's
choice.
Real up close. It's very personal. And the same when he kills the other guy, he uses a knife, which again is a very personal kill. He may throw it from quite far away, but the act of using a knife in and of itself.
But one thing we just didn't mention that I'd like to do,
and then he's like, it's blood.
Before we wrap up, where some of the characters might have pitfalls, I think all the actors did a fantastic job. Roy Dupuis is great as Becker. Your man who plays Ross is great.
He's so terrified all the time. It's like he's very similar to the Shane Black character in Predator, the first Predator, who's like, I really don't want to be here. Because I wasn't supposed to be here because I'm only the fucking writer and it's not my fault that the actor decided not to show up.
But Ross has this very much the PTSD vibes.
He just looks sweaty all the time, poor thing. Which he's so panicked.
Yeah.
That he's like sweating constantly. It's that very sickly, like, and he can't calm down no matter, like, even though they feel relatively safe and relaxed, he's so on edge and he's chewing away on that, and the glasses are constantly reflecting light sources, so you never get to see his eyes.
Jefferson is great as the young jingoistic kind of gung-ho Marine who just wants to get out there and doesn't really know.
No.
But he's still kind of idolising the one who has been in the fight.
And then you have the conversation with him and Brecker later on when he's like, oh, you're a rookie, aren't you? You know, they don't care about us here, and he's trying to like demoralise him. Yeah.
And then I said Becker, I think Becker and Joe, Peter Weller and Roy Dupuis are
Joe's
fantastic.
Very much, because it's hard, it'd be easy to overshoot the hardened veteran.
And as I said, they do it a little bit in his introduction with the Mozart and the coin is all a little like, this is a man of culture.
Stop looking at this coin. Fuck you. This is a Sphinx.
But yeah, it's all his snarky lines.
Guys, Julius Caesar. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all his snarky lines and stuff that I think
he just
really
ain't got time
it.
for your shit.
Yeah. No, I love Screamers. I don't care what rating it has. But I think that about wraps it up for it.
Yeah.
But we will be back next week. Oh, we're back in the 90s again, but at least it wasn't 97. We were in 97 for ages, and then we went and did Team America, and then we went back to 1995 for Screamers. It's just the way it goes sometimes. But we'll be back next week with our usual undecided film. Thanks for joining us, guys. In the meantime, if you want, you can head back and check out some of our previous episodes or our other podcast, Mono Rants the Boys. If you want, you can come and chat with us on Twitter at RantsMono, on Instagram at monorants_the_boys, or you can send your own rants to monorantspodcast@gmail.com. And we'll chat soon. Bye bye.